Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome back to this live Dr. Jaspersoft session. Let's wait for our audience to join. Let's give them a minute or two. All right, I still see people are still joining. So let's give them a minute or two and we'll start. Okay, I'm still seeing our audience keep joining. I think we will start right now. So hi again. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this month live Dr. Jaspersoft session about our brand new DevOps training sessions that we will be promoting it today. And also we'll get a first look into our exciting Jaspersoft Engineering Instance. Happy to have you here all with us, and thank you for joining. As usual, quick introduction. I'm Badr Draifi, your Dr. Jaspersoft host, live from Paris, and I have here with me today Himanshu Parmar, who is our Director of QA and Infrastructure, and live with us from Himanshu from Houston, US, and Abhishek, our Vice President of Engineering, based in Santa Clara, California. Ready to dive in with you. Thank you guys. How are you? Thank you for joining us. How are you doing? You hear? Can you hear me, Himanshu? Abhishek?
Yes, yes,
I'm
all
sorry.
good.
But that
Thank
was the
you.
question to the audience. Sorry. Yeah, we're doing fine.
No problem. Thank you for being our speakers and being our guests in this Dr. Jaspersoft session. Can you move to the next slide, Himanshu? All right, so this is our confidentiality and disclaimer slide. If you can go to the next. Yes, so don't forget to register for our next session next month, next Tuesday of every month as usual. We'll walk you through our Jaspersoft Maps visualization. We'll demonstrate how to harness the full potential of Jaspersoft in creating a stunning visualization using maps. So stay tuned, go to Dr. Jaspersoft office hours page and register so you can get reminders. And also don't forget to vote for your next Dr. Jaspersoft session by clicking on that link there. And I'm happy to send you the link in the chat as well if you don't have it already. One last thing before giving the floor to Himanshu, who will start this presentation today. Please put your questions on the Q&A section. It's on the bottom of your Zoom. We will be monitoring it and we will try to get to all of your questions before the end of this session. Thank you all, and thank you, Himanshu. Abhishek, it's up to you now. Take the floor.
Thank you. Abhi, do you want to go first or I can start?
I'll introduce and then I'll leave the floor to you. So hi everyone. Welcome to this session of Dr. Jaspersoft. In this particular session, we'll talk about two things. We'll talk about deployment series and why are we doing it. And we'll also talk about our Jaspersoft engineering instance, right? Why we built it and what's the purpose, right? So we have been working with, so as you know, Jaspersoft can be deployed everywhere and anywhere and everywhere, right? So we have, especially Himanshu's team, right, has been working with so many customers and they have helped them to deploy Jaspersoft in various environments, whether it's on-prem, cloud, hybrid, whether you go with source code, WAR file, Docker, right? Be it and any environment, right? Whether you talk about AWS, within AWS, you talk about marketplace, you talk about AKS, EKS, ECS, AKS is Azure, right? We're pretty much deployed in every possible environment we can think of, and Himanshu's team has been assisting customers. In the past, we also produced a GitHub page, a dedicated GitHub page, right, managed by Himanshu's team, where he produces a lot of Docker samples, which are used by so many customers globally. And our goal is to keep contributing our samples to that particular GitHub page, and for customers to take it and give us feedback. So if something is not working, our goal is to make sure that is the closer collaboration with our users, so that they give us feedback and we work on them and we contribute more and more to our wider community, right? So that's the whole part. Now, what we are doing as part of deployment series, and Himanshu will go into details, is that what we're thinking is that we'll talk about, we'll have a deep dive sessions, right? Whole presentations and recordings, where we'll talk about deployments in various environments, whether it's, via source code, WAR file, Docker, and then in different various environments. We'll talk about different platforms that we support, right? And our goal was to basically do a DevOps day where in a single day, Himanshu and his team will basically run through various sessions. People can come in. There'll be some live hands-on sessions. We haven't decided that. We are still looking at how people perceive to it, how many are interested. So if you are interested, you can email us and we'll give you a link. And we'll also upload those videos on YouTube very soon for you guys to go and look at it. So that's the deployment series, and Himanshu will go into details. And then towards the second part of the session, Himanshu will talk about the Jaspersoft Engineering Instance. And I just wanted to give you a background of why we are doing it, right? So this engineering instance is basically hosted on AWS. It's managed again by Himanshu's team, right? And the goal for us is that we work with so many customers globally, right? And they have so many issues, and they always look for samples or of things or tricks to basically solve the issues. And we thought, okay, let's create basically a centralized hosted instance hosted by Jaspersoft Engineering. So think of it like a playground. So what we'll do is that we have a JRS instance, Jasper Report Server instance. We have a Jasper Reports Web Studio instance, and it's completely free. And so from my team perspective, we will go ahead and contribute a lot of samples to that path, so that customers can come in and basically look at the samples. And if it meets their need, they can copy it. They can copy it into their own workspace, and they can start utilizing it. We'll also make sure that, if you say that, okay, look, I want to build this one, so we can actually build it and make it available there so that it is visible to everyone. And the same thing can be done by you, right? So that's why we're looking at the contribution part. So if you think of something that, okay, I have built this report and this can be very useful to other people, and actually go and share your report and people can come, view it, copy it, right? And Himanshu will give you a demo of it. So those are two broader topics that we want to cover in this particular session of Dr. Jaspersoft. And we'll have more and more sessions. So first we are starting with the deployment series. We'll also have reporting series. We'll have embedding series. And our whole goal is to enable more and more, contribute more to our community, and also have a closer collaboration and contribution with them. So that was the goal. So Himanshu, over to you.
Thank you, Abhishek. Hello, everyone. I'm Himanshu Parmar. As Badar also mentioned, I manage DevOps, CloudOps, QA, and automation teams at Jaspersoft. So we are going to look into the deployment series first. So as Abhi mentioned, right, Jaspersoft can be deployed anywhere and anyhow, right? And many platforms have been supported. So specifically, if we talk about the containers, we support Docker and Kubernetes. And Abhi said we already have a GitHub page where we have uploaded or published all the Docker images with the scripts that customers are already using. There are various options available to deploy on containers, right? And for the Docker itself, we can create like the Docker images, and we can run the Jasper Report server using the Docker commands, using Docker Compose, for example, right, in a single instance cluster environment. And there are multiple ways of installing the database as well, and you can use different types of database, and you can use the database as external database, or you can use the environment variables as well for security reasons, right? We will also showcase how to deploy GRS and scalable engine using Docker. For the Kubernetes as well, we have multiple options that we offer, right? The default ones, if you just want to deploy out of the box, you can use the Postgres as a default database, as well as you can use any external database as well. Now, when you use the external database, of course, you would have options to use environment variables. And in the Kubernetes environment, you can use the Kubernetes secrets, right? And just for the security reasons again. Same thing, we will also showcase the Jasper Report Server and Scalable Engine on Kubernetes as well. We will be demonstrating how to use logging and monitoring, right? And then we will showcase how to deploy JRS on AWS environments using EKS or ECS and all sort of things using AWS ALB. How do we customize? So there are many customers who use the customization, and we would also demonstrate how to customize the Jasper Report Server application. So I think that's pretty much covers the deployment series part. Now let me go to the Jaspersoft Engineering Instance. So what is Jaspersoft Engineering Instance? As Abhi said, this is a Jaspersoft Creators platform, and this is mainly an engineering instance to build engineering instance built to collaborate and contribute with our users. We work with hundreds of thousands of users globally with their specific needs and requests. Uh, the knowledge is lost in these siloed conversations. Creating an article helps, but it cannot be compared to hands-on example. Hence, we thought of building this whole platform. I can directly jump into a demo part now. Let me start here. So as you can see, this is the platform engineering platform that we have built. We call this a home page, or you can call it as a landing page, and you will see a bunch of options on this page. Now, once you are here, you will see on the left-hand side, you will see a bunch of options like a home button. We have resources. So under resources, we have multiple options like overview, data governance, getting started, and other options, right? We have a couple of options under create. As we said, the first option is for analytics that represents Jasper Report Server, and second option is reporting that represents Jasper Reports Web Studio. On the right hand side, you can see we have. Let me sign out here for a moment, and you will see a sign up and sign in buttons. We have already built lots of samples, and those samples are available to all the users. They are all present under featured visualizations on this page. You can see we have all these samples, and any user can just click on the sample and then they can run it. Just to give you an example, I'll just click on this first sample, and you will see it's actually running live. It's being executed on the server. Let me go back to the main page here, the home page. Now, how do you get access to this platform? You can simply click on the sign up button. You'll have to accept the end user agreement, and you can also review the privacy policy here. You accept it, and it will take you to this login screen or sign up screen where you will have to enter username, email, and password, and then just click on the sign up button. We'll send you an email to verify your email address, and once you have done it, you will be able to log in using that username. I already have created a user, so I'm not going to sign up again, but let me try to sign in. And so I have this demo user one, and let me click on sign in button here. As you can see here on the right hand side, the options haven't changed. This is my username. I have the user profile here. You can select the account, and you can see the profile as well. If I open the profile, you can see all the visualizations which are created by you. You can mark visualizations as favorites as well. If you want to follow other users, you can do that. Some other users can follow you as well. And of course, you have options for editing your profile, etc. Now, from this page, from the home page, let me try to go or create Jaspersoft Creates Platform Analytics. So that's going to be the Jasper Report server, right? So once I'm here, you can see the use and feel of this platform is similar to the Jasper Report server. right? And on the right-hand side, you can see that I'm in the public workspace. Now we have a concept here. We have introduced this concept of public and private workspaces. I will talk in detail later, but just keep an eye on this public workspace here. Once we are here, you can see similar options as we see on Jasper Report Server, the regular one. You can create ad hoc view, report, dashboard, domains, and data sources here, right? But the interesting part would be to see here under your user profile. We have introduced something called resource usage. And if you click on it, you can see that since though this platform is free, it has some limitations, and we have added these limitations as a part of quota. So you can see that a user who has signed up will have a limit of 2 reports they can generate. Domain, we can generate only 1 domain. Ad hoc view, we have this one, right? So we have, of course, I mean, for someone should not exploit the system, and that's why we have these limitations as well. But it's a good feature to have as well. So let me try to create something.
Sorry,
Yeah.
if I may add. So see, a couple of things. So as you can see, this is we have to slightly tweak the UI, all right, just from this purpose. So you have my workspace and you don't see anyone else's. You have one single workspace that you work, and it's a public workspace. We also have a concept of private, but that's different. Now, the reason we introduced rate limiters are 2 things. So obviously this is a free platform and we are hosting it. So we wanted to control the cost, and that's one reason. But the second reason is it's also a platform. So it'll not be exactly similar to 9.0. I wanted to highlight that, right? This will be slightly different to the 9.0 that you are probably downloading it from the on-prem. The reason we are keeping it slightly different is that we also use this platform to try out new things, right? This is not the same as what you get when you download the software and you buy the software. This is where we are trying to keep our innovation hat on also. So for example, we introduced the concept of rate limiters. And in the past, many customers have come to me and said, okay, can we do that? So this was our place where we introduced rate limiters, not just to say, okay, hey, we have a feature, we were actually using that feature. So to control our costs, as Himanshu said, right, we've introduced various kind of rate limiters within JRS and also in GRWS, which is Jaspersoft Web Studio. And we'll be utilizing it, we'll be controlling it, and we can actually configure it to be higher and lower per user as well. So that's one of the reasons that it's not just, we'll come and contribute things here, and we also want users to come in. You can also consider this platform as a bleeding edge where we'll try new features, be very innovative, and we'll look at the response from our wider community base and say, okay, yes, this is, and so we'll be tracking, who's using what. And if we see there's a good adoption and people, more and more customers come and tell me that, look, I need this in the main on-prem software, we can easily migrate that to on. So we have a very, Himanshu's team has built a pipeline where we can move features from here to the main branch as well. All right, so I just wanted to highlight that. Himanshu, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Avi. So let me try to create some resources here, right? So I'll just create an ad hoc view, for example. And this is a new feature that we have introduced in this platform. So for creation of the ad hoc view, you can simply upload a file and it will, automatically create data source and domains for you. So I have this file, a demo XLS file, and I will try to upload it and see. I mean, it will create data source, domain, ad hoc designer, everything will be, created. We don't have to manually go and create everything there, right? And you can just try to use any type of visualizations that you want to see here, right? And you can just see everything is up and running. But now, interesting part would be, since we have created this ad hoc view, let's look into the resource usage. So let me just go back here, and you can see that we have a domain created, right? And we have the content resource is our Excel file, and all the resources are being used basically. So whatever you create, of course, will be, marked as resource usage here, basically. So let me try to save this ad hoc view and see what happens on the profile page. So I have saved this. Let me go back to my main home screen where I have my user profile. and I will go to my profile, and you would be able to see that I have created one ad hoc view here. So since this workspace was a public workspace, anyone using the platform can see your visualization as well, right? If we have reviewed the visualizations, and if there are interesting visualizations which is helping the product, we would definitely try to publish them on the main screen here on the home page under featured visualizations as well. We can do that, but only admins will be able to do that. But other users can see your visualizations since you are working under a public workspace. So now this is a public workspace scenario. Now let me talk about the private workspace scenario. So let's assume that some users reach out to us asking for private workspace. What does that mean? That means whatever resources that that particular user creates will be private to that user only, and it won't be shared with anyone else, right? And this will be on demand. Of course, you'll have to send us an email, and then we will have to add you or grant you access to the private workspace. Let me log out from here, and let me sign in back. And I have a user which already have been granted access to private workspace as well. So this demo user too has access to private, and let's see how it looks like now. So if I'll go back to the analytics option here, you will be able to see that this public icon here, we have added these two options. So we have two workspaces now. Since I already had access to public one, you will see that by default, but now I have access to the private workspace as well. Now, functionality wise, if you select the private workspace, all the options on the UI, everything would look alike. There won't be any difference. However, whatever resources that you will create will be consumed against your user quota, right? And but when whatever you will create here will be private to that user only. So that's kind of a difference, right, between public and private. Let me go back to the home page and now show you the second option that we have, the reporting option, right? So if I'll go to the reporting option, all right, it's taking time to load. All right, so as you can see here, you will be able to see your own repository. Okay, this is my different user that I logged into. Let me go back and try to, okay. Reporting option again. And yeah, I'm using demo user 2 here again. And as you can see, you have a profile here as well, and it will take you back to your main profile page, right? So the profile is shared between Jasper Report Server and Jasper Reports Web Studio. This is your home repository. Basically, as you can see, you double click on it and you will see that you have this public repository. If you open it, you will be showcased this warning that, oh, you are in your public workspace, and be mindful about what you upload here, basically. And you can just close it and start creating your resources. You start building your reports, basically. So, and here also, I mean, in the JRW side as well, you have an option for the private workspace too. If I'll go back to this one, let me go back to the home of the reporting, and I will just say right click on this and I will say resource information. You will be able to see that all the, permissions, general, and then properties as well. So here also we have some quota limits, as you can see, number of files and folders that you can create, and maximum repository space, and etc. I mean, you have this all these limitations here as well.
So if I may add, right? So this is everyone, this is the Web Studio, right? So Web Studio can be treated as a full-blown application, and the repository that we are using here is Jackrabbit. So for users who just wants to basically stay to studio reports, right, and use a repository. So if their intention is just to design report, save them, execute them, then they can use a JRWS application. They can just go there, create their own version of reports using Web Studio, right? They can also upload it from desktop. If they, let's suppose if they find something which is lacking in Web Studio, they can upload that from desktop. It will work. It's cross-compatible. And then they can save that in the Jackrabbit repository, which you can see here, right? And you can execute them, right? And so you don't need to go anywhere else. You can have everything here. There are also a couple of questions that I want to answer now only because Teteru asked me a question that can we delete our reports analysis to reset our report domain? Yes, you can, right? That will reset. We will always look at the live concurrent ones. And then asked me the question that Jaspersoft has SaaS model where we can deploy and run reports without worrying about. So the answer is same question was asked by Muna as well. So we don't. So this is not a paid. This is not a product. This is not a paid offering at all, right? We are not creating a SaaS offering. This is just the engineering instance, and our goal is to basically showcase that what we can build, test our innovations right here, share it with our wider community, see if we can get more contributions from them. So it is for the wider collaboration and contribution. This is not our plan here is not to sell a product, not to make any. So this is completely free, and that's why we have rate limiters. But this is purely an engineering instance. It is not a paid product offering at all. We might, we don't have any immediate plans of creating a SaaS offering. So please do not consider this as a SaaS offering. This is purely an engineering instance for someone to come and try out different things, give us feedback, collaborate with us, and contribute back to us. All right, Machi, go ahead.
Right. Yeah, and no, just the last part, right? As you can see here, I have this resources being used, right? And you can see I have one content resource and one domain, right? And domain, I mean, you can create one domain at max. Now, if you want to, let's say, use any other domain as well, you just go here, come to your domain screen, right click, delete it, and I will also go to my content resources, right click, delete it, and you should be able to see that the resources have been, you can again resources have been reclaimed basically. So that's how it is. So by default, you will see this limits, right, on all your resources. But let's say if someone wants to have a bigger limit, right, and definitely you can reach out to us, send us an email, and we will review your request, and we can increase your limits as well. These are all the design time limits, right, on the or static resource limits basically. But at the same time, we also have introduced the runtime limits as well. We call it as execution limits, right? So within 1 minute, for example, you will be able to execute only n number of reports, 10 in this case, for example, by default, right? So we have two types of limits introduced here. And I think that's pretty much it. Abhi, do you want to add anything, or we can?
Yeah, so there's a question by Muna. How do we provide feedback regarding the platform? Do you want to take that?
Right. So let's see here. So we have, as you can see here under the resources options, we have ask questions, find answers, and FAQ options here, right? So if let's say someone has any questions that they would want to ask, we have created this repository, right? GitHub repository. You can add a ticket here, and we will get back to you.
Okay, I think one more question about increasing the limit. I will share an email, right, with Dave. So Dave, you can email on that particular email ID. It will come to me and Himanshu, and we can work on the request. Right, and then Muna has another question. Will this page be available in the future LTS? I'm not sure what it means, Muna. This has, so this page is only for Jaspersoft Engineering Instance, right? The LTS that you're talking about is our paid commercial offering, which is 9.0.8.0. That is an on-prem product, right? As I said in the beginning of the call, this particular instance will be slightly different from the 9.0 offering or the 8.0 offering because it has the same base, but we also add and remove things which are rightly suited for this particular instance, right? So it will not be, a complete parity, 100% parity with the 9.0 or 8.0. It will be slightly different. How can Jaspersoft, okay, let me go through the questions. So how can Jaspersoft help a company new to develop CI/CD? So yeah, so then the best person is this is Himanshu. Set up a call with him, and this is Himanshu's team has basically set up very complex CI/CD pipelines, right? So he can look into what your requirement is, and then he can help you with that one, right? So again, the email would be the same thing. And how can I start my own instance? I'm not sure. So Terence, I'm not sure what you mean by own instance. Um, so this is a shared hosted instance. If you want to build something, if I understand your question correctly, if you want to build something of your own, then yeah, we can give you all the tips and tricks to how did we build it, and you can take that. So I'm not sure if I answered your question correctly or not.
Or
So
maybe you want to like sign up and then just create an account and then start using
if you
like
just want to use this instance, as Himanshu showed, you can just go sign up. It's integrated with AWS. You will just create a login and you can start using it, right? If that's what you mean by sign up. Looking for a resource usage page for an on-prem. Yes, we can. So Muna, this is what we're doing, right? So this is one of the features we tried on this particular instance. And if we think that, for example, you have shown interest and others show interest, we'll move the same feature set to our on-prem, to the 9.0, right? And then it will be visible, available to you, so you can use it. All right. So I don't see
We don't have
any.
any more incoming questions. Maybe we can wait a little bit. You can go to the resource page waiting, maybe if we have more questions coming in.
Sure.
So thank you, Abhishek and Himanshu, for this really rich presentation and exciting stuff about the Jaspersoft Engineering Instance and the incoming web training series. Looking forward to that. So guys, this is just the resources page that you're probably familiar with. If you have any questions about customer success, there is the website. We have Jaspersoft Quick Start Guide. All our previous slides and recordings, including this one, will be on that link posted right after today's call, and they'll also be in the YouTube channel, as you can see there in that link, including these slides as well. Don't forget about Jaspersoft community. You can all go there, ask your questions. If you have anything related to some of the Dr. Jaspersoft session, just tag Dr. Jasper, and we will be notified about it. And this is the additional links for today's presentation by Himanshu with our Jaspersoft Engineering Instance, as you can see there, landing.cloud.jaspersoft.com. I don't see any questions coming in so far. So if this is for the audience, if you don't have any more questions, we pretty much at the end of our session here. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Abhi, Himanshu, audience, thank you, and see you on the next session next Thursday of the second Thursday of next month. Thank you.
All right.
thank you.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.